How did a movement that began with just 12 ordinary men grow into the world's largest religion? It sounds almost impossible. No internet, no television, no airplanes, no printing press, and yet, within a few centuries, Christianity had spread across continents and eventually reached billions of people. So, how did it happen? It all began in the 1st century in a small corner of the Roman Empire. Jesus of Nazareth spent about 3 years teaching, healing, and gathering followers. Among them were 12 disciples, ordinary men from different backgrounds, including fishermen, a tax collector, and others with no political power or military influence. After Jesus' crucifixion, his followers believed he had risen from the dead. This conviction completely changed them. Men who had once been afraid and in hiding suddenly began preaching publicly, despite knowing it could cost them their lives. Their message was simple: forgiveness, hope, love, and salvation through Jesus Christ. The Roman Empire unexpectedly helped this message spread. Although Rome often persecuted Christians, it had also built an enormous network of roads connecting cities across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. These roads made travel easier than ever before. Another advantage was language. Greek was widely spoken throughout much of the Eastern Roman Empire, while Latin dominated the West. This allowed the apostles and early missionaries to communicate with people from many different regions. One of the most influential figures was the Apostle Paul. Originally known as Saul, he had persecuted Christians before converting to Christianity. After his conversion, Paul traveled thousands of miles, establishing churches throughout cities in modern-day Turkey, Greece, Cyprus, and eventually Rome. Instead of keeping the message within one community, he encouraged new believers to share it with others. Small groups became churches, churches planted new churches, and the movement continued to grow. Early Christians also lived differently from many around them. They cared for the poor, helped widows and orphans, visited prisoners, and even cared for the sick during epidemics, when many others fled. Their compassion attracted people who were searching for hope and purpose. Of course, spreading Christianity was not easy. Many believers faced imprisonment, torture, and execution because they refused to abandon their faith. According to early Christian tradition, most of the apostles died as martyrs. Yet persecution often had the opposite effect. As Christians fled to new regions, they carried their beliefs with them, introducing Christianity to even more communities. A major turning point came in the year 313 AD. The Roman Emperor Constantine issued the Edict of Milan, granting Christians the freedom to practice their faith openly. Christianity was no longer illegal. Over the following decades, churches were built throughout the empire, missionaries traveled farther than ever before, and Christianity expanded into Europe, Africa, and Asia. Centuries later, explorers, traders, and missionaries carried Christianity to the Americas, Sub-Saharan Africa, Oceania, and many parts of East Asia. Today, Christianity is practiced in nearly every country on earth, with more than 2 billion people identifying as Christians. Looking back, it's remarkable to think that this global faith began with a small group of ordinary people who believed their message was worth sharing. Whether viewed through the lens of history or faith, the spread of Christianity remains one of the most extraordinary movements the world has ever seen. From 12 disciples to billions of believers, a journey that continues more than 2,000 years later. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves history and fascinating stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.